Finish this document up today.
The 4th of November, Rabbi First Pierke Avos.
Good morning, Rabbi Furst.
Good morning, Roy. Good to see you all. Let's see. Just want to make one short announcement. Let's see, just put this on the screen in the meantime. Okay, we're going to finish this document up today. Okay, just one short announcement. Baruch Hashem, tonight it's out of Yerushalayim. We're making a wedding for our youngest son. It's in a place, if you know where Herzliya, where Netanya is, part is Chana. It's on the shore up in the north. So we haven't given out really too many invitations because it's out of town, and I don't want to cause people to have to travel unnecessarily.
It's near Haifa?
Excuse me?
It's near Haifa?
It's just south of Haifa, yeah, a little bit south of Haifa. All right.
Mazel
Simchas by you, thank you very much. If anyone's really truly interested in coming, please contact me by email personally, and I'll give you a personal invitation and directions how to come. But since it's out of town, we didn't want to have people feel obligated to come and make a trip. It should be about an hour and a half ride without traffic, and so it's not so easy to get to. But we should all have many simchas in your families, Be'ez Hashem, and we should have many more simchas to share, hopefully closer to home, Be'ez Hashem.
Amen. Mazel tov.
Amen. Simchas by you. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Many simchas by you. Okay, so let's just, I'll make a quick summary of what we're learning. We'll finish up our document here, and then we'll return to Pirke Avos, Be'ez Hashem, tomorrow. The document we're learning now is the Beis Chalikam, which is a Lamabit, who lived in the years about 500 years ago. He, I think, sat on the Beis Din of the Beis Yosef in Tzfas here in Eretz Yisrael. And he is mentioning here the obligations of Zayin Mitzvah B'nai Noach and the mitzvahs of the Torah for Klal Yisrael stem from the first creation of Adam Rishon by Kadosh Baruch Hu. That obligates everyone in the Zayin Mitzvahs B'nai Noach, and we have to be noeg as a son to a father, because the Kadosh Baruch Hu taking the special, so to speak, interest and active involvement more than anything else in all of the Ma'aseh creation to create Adam Rishon. So therefore, that obligates us to be behaving towards the Kadosh Baruch Hu like a son to a father. Klal Yisrael, who were taken out of Mitzrayim, we have different obligations, and these obligations are more in the pattern of a servant to his master. And that's what's been explained up till now. Right. And that'll be starting these last three paragraphs. I think we should start with Ki Lakach, third paragraph up from the bottom.
Okay, should I read?
Yeah, unless there's any other volunteers, you can read a little if you like.
Ki lekach hotzi'am me'eretz Mitzrayim kidei shelo yiyu od avadim. Because lekach, therefore, we were brought out of Egypt in order that it should not be more servitude.
Right. I mean, this is an interesting perspective he's presenting here. That when we were taken out of our servitude towards from the Egyptian servitude, so that brought an end to the possibility and the situation of Klal Yisrael being servitude to any other in any other situation, even as we were discussing one Jewish person to another Jewish person, meaning a Jewish slave, even though there's such a thing as Jewish slavery, and there are situations where a Jew can be sold into slavery, but that's only going to be, as he already proves, that's only on a somewhat of a temporary basis. It's not meant to be a permanent slavery, whereas other types of slaves, Ebed Kanani, for example, that would be a permanent slavery. But that doesn't exist by Klal Yisrael, because we're already obligated by rights of the fact that Hashem took us out of our servitude to the Egyptians. So therefore, by rights of that, we are free from any other servitude on a permanent basis to anybody else.
Ulezeh Amar Hakasuv Habet Ki Li B'nai Yisrael Avadim. And for this, it's stated in the second pasuk, because the Bnei Yisrael are servants to me. Kulam derech klal haim avadim li velo avadim la'avadim. All of them, in general, they are servants to me and not servants to servants. Ve'elu shenim karu avadi haim asher hotzi asi osam me eretz bekule. And these, what's nim karu?
Right, and those who are sold, meaning amongst those Jews who happen to be sold into slavery.
Into slavery, they are they go out from the land.
That Elud Shenimkaru Avadayim, meaning even those Jews, he's being very brief over here, but what he's indicating here is even those Jews who were sold into slavery, Avadayim, they are my slaves, meaning when a Jew buys another Jew as a slave, he's buying a slave of a Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? Buying a slave. This parallels very strongly the actual situation that was in Egypt itself. Not too many people know this, but the Jewish people, when we became slaves, as I think the pasuk says, we became slaves to Paro. Meaning, what does it mean? We became slaves to Paro. We didn't become slaves to the normal run-of-the-mill Egyptian, the common folk. We became royal slaves. We were slaves to Paro. We were royal slaves of Paro, which gives us a special status in a certain way, right? That the servitude that we were bound to was servitude to the king. We weren't servitude to the normal population. Even if the king would. Even if Paro himself would send us off to do work for the common people, but we still maintain a certain status of being royal slaves. What that actually involved, I don't know. This point is not really mentioned too much, but it shows up here. It's very important to understand what's being said over here. Meaning, we were, just as we were royal slaves to the king of Egypt, We are, so to speak, royal slaves to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the King of the world. So even when a Jew is going to be sold into slavery, right? The person who's buying a Jewish slave is not simply buying a slave; he's buying a royal slave, a slave who's a slave to Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? Which part of that is the temporary conscription of the Jewish slave, because he's not going to be permanently bought. A non-Jewish slave can be permanently bought, but a Jewish slave can only be bought temporarily and is only in servitude for a temporary amount of time.
Would the buyer know this?
Excuse me?
Would would the buyer know this?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that would all be part of the Torah speaks about this openly, and that's part of the understanding. When you're buying a Jewish slave, it's only for a certain amount of time, definitely till Yovel. The Yovel is going to be the absolute limit.
Mhm.
And the reason behind that is because HaKadosh Baruch Hu took us out of Mitzrayim. That's what it means over here. That means Hotzeisi Osam Eretz Mitzrayim. That I, meaning I, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, took you out of the land of Egypt. And through that action, through that acquisition, that Hashem, through redeeming us from our servitude to the Egyptians, He redeemed us, and we became therefore indebted to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to be slaves to Him. Okay.
Kamo shekasav gam kain b'pasuk habet ratalomar gam ki nimkaru lo yitz'o me'avodati ki haim chayavim ma'avodasi v'hu kiyum kol haTorah b'sheva kamo hakonim osam. So it's like that which is written also in the second pasuk. That is to say, also, because they were sold, they did not go out from their servitude, because they are obligated in my service.
Exactly. That's the exact point that's being made over here, right?
Right.
Russell Gam Ki Nimkru. Even in the case where the Jews, are going to be sold as slaves, Lo Yotzi Mi'avodah Sai. They are not free from serving me. Meaning, even a Jewish slave who is bought is not free from serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He's still ultimately indebted and obligated and in servitude and in subjugation to the mitzvahs and the commands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even though he may be now a Jewish slave owned by another Jew. But that does not exempt him from his status of being a slave unto HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
V'hu kiyum kol haTorah
B'shava.
b'shava kamo hakonim osam, and he fulfills all of the Torah equally, like they were acquired. Hakonim.
Right. That v'kiyim Torah v'hu mekayim kol Torah b'shava kamo hakonim osam. Right, meaning he, the Jewish slave, fulfills all of the Torah equally, kamo, just like hakonim, so just like those who acquire him or acquire them, the slaves. And
Uh,
just as the masters of the Jewish slaves who bought Jewish slaves, they have to fulfill the whole of the Torah. Likewise, their Jewish slaves also have to fulfill the whole of the Torah as well.
ולזה אמר מיד אני השם אלוקיכם אלוקי כולכם דרך כלל לקונים ולמוכרים. And for this, it says immediately, I am Hashem, your God. The God of all of you. The general rule is that you are acquired and sold.
Right, that the general rule being here Wow, yeah, like that. This is what's said, meaning right after the point being made of the about the David Ivri, miyad Omer miyad. It says immediately the pasuk Ani Hashem Elokechem Elokei Kulechem. I am the God of all of you. Derek Klal in general, Lekainim Ulamachorim, to those who buy and to those who are sold.
Excuse me.
Weiter?
Yeah.
Rabbi Weiter?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Hare sheyesh chiyuv la'avdo ulekavdo keben la'av uke'eved l'rav. We see that there is an obligation to serve him and to honor him like a son to a father and like a servant to a master. Ukamo she'amar hanavi'ah alav shalom Malachi ben Yikaved av ve'eved adonav ve'im av ani eye kavodi ve'im adonim ani eye morei v'kule. And we see that there is an obligation to serve and to honor like a son to a father and like a servant to a master. And it's like that which is stated by the prophet, peace be upon him, in Malachi. A son honors his father, and a servant his master. And if the father
if I'm your father,
if I am your father, you shall honor me. And if your master, I am your master, you shall revere me. Mori is to revere.
Yeah, respect, revere. Correct. Right.
So respect me, etc.
So here, this pasuk. If you remember, we looked at this pasuk. Excuse me. So this is a little bit a unique perspective, a bit of a reversal of what normally we're used to. The normal way in which, and we said this on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, that im kavadim, im kabanim, im kavadim. Normally, we think of the relationship that we're supposed to have with the Kadosh Baruch of a son to his father, right? And that's out of love. That's a relationship out of love. In contrast, the relationship of a servant to his master is one of out of fear, out of respect, right? So here, this pasuk is really sort of reversing things. There's a because it's going to seem to be that there's more of a advantage and a preference that we serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu like servants rather than as sons. We'll see, because here the pasuk says, and this is what he's going to go into. He's going to go into a bit of an analysis of this pasuk. Says the ben Yechabidav, the son honors the father, Eved Adonav, and this Eved his master. And if I'm a father, you shall honor me. If I'm masters over you, then you shall fear me, respect me. So now let's see how he analyzes the pasuk. Let's do it. Lo Amar.
Lo Amar Beven Aviv Kamo Shekasav Be'eved Adonav Below Be'avad Yikaved Velo Yira. It doesn't say with a son, his father, like that is written with a servant, his master, and not with a servant to honor and not revere.
Okay, right. So let's let's see what he's pointing out from the pasuk. It says Ben Yechabidav, the son honors his father, but Eved Adonav, but Eved his master. But it doesn't say anything about what the Eved's doing with his master. It says the son is honoring the father, but the Eved his master, and so you kind of infer from that the Eved also is Mechaved the Adon, but that doesn't really mean that's not really what it means, right? That because the rest of the pasuk's talking about that the son is Mechaved and the servant is respecting, is Moira. So that's what he says. Lo Amar Beben Aviv. It doesn't say first of all, the Ben honors his father. A personal thing. He says, Ben Yechavid Av, the son honors the father. It doesn't say the son honors his father, right? You see that? That's the first point he's mentioning about this pasuk, right?
Right.
Because he's contrasting it by the Eved. The Eved says Adonav, right? The Eved, his master, and by the son it says son, the father. By the Eved it says servant, his master, and the son it just says a father, like a generic term of father, not his father. So it says Lo Amar Beben Aviv. It doesn't say by the son his father, Kamosh Kasav Eved Adonov, as it says in the Eved about his master. That's number one. But number two, v'lo be'eved yechabed v'lo yira. It doesn't say anything about the eved either respecting, nor does it say anything about him honoring. Right? Doesn't say anything about what the eved's supposed to do. Correct?
Wait, I thought it said he should respect.
That's in the second part of the pasuk, right?
Right.
But in the first part of the look at the first part of the pasuk, starting again. Ben Yechabid at the end of the first line of that paragraph. Ben Yechabidav va'evid Adonav. The son respects the father. Va'evid Adonah, and the evid his Adon. What's the evid supposed to do?
Ah, I see.
The inference is that he's supposed to respect him, just like the son. No, excuse me. I'm sorry. Just like the son is Yechabid, a father, so the Eved Adonai, the inference is the Eved also honors his master, but it doesn't say it, right? It does. That's what he says. It doesn't say anything about the Eved honoring, nor does it say anything about the Eved respecting.
But what about further on in the pasuk where it says "Ve'im Adonim Ani Eyeh Mori"? That's saying that he should respect the master. No.
That's right. At the end of the pasuk it says it, but at the beginning it never said it. That's what his point is here.
So he's cutting the pasuk in half, and he's saying ignore the second half. Just look at the first half.
Right. If you just analyze the first half, right, there's something lacking when it comes to the servant, the Eved. There's something lacking here, which you saw by the son to the father, but you don't see that with the Eved to the master.
Right.
Okay. That's what he's pointing out over here.
Ki hakavod la'av al haben eina mivokeshes min ha'av ella shehu chayuv al haben. Because the honor of the father concerning the son is not requested from the father. Rather, that he is obligated concerning the son.
So okay, so let's say about this that it because Kia covered the Av alaben ena muvukeshes mina Av, because he's explaining why, because the honor, right, the honor which the son must show to the father is not something which is requested by the father to the son. The father doesn't ask his son, look, honor me. That's something that's supposed to be innate, something which is supposed to be automatic, right? So, Elishu chayev ala ben. It's a chayev on the ben, right? The son is obligated in the honor of the father, right? So it's not something which is requested by the father from the son to him. Right?
Ha'eved chayav be'avodas adonav, but the servant is obligated in the service of the master.
Right. The Eved, when he comes to the Avdus, to the servitude, to serving the master, the Eved is obligated in serving the master, right? So we have the son is obligated. We have the son is obligated in the honor uh, of the son to honor the father, and the Eved is obligated in serving the master, his master, his master.
Ki mitzad shehu adon alav mivakesh mimenu sheyiavdehu v'yishretahu. Because from the perspective that he is the master, upon him is the request, or he requests of him servitude and attendance.
Right. That the relationship between the master and his servant is that the master must ask of the servant the things that he wants to serve him. He the master, is commanding, is asking of his servant different things that he wants him to attend to him with and about.
Lazar, he's here, be'eved adonav, and for this, he's here is to merit or to remember.
That it's mentioned, and here it's mentioned, or it's mentioned here. Yeah, I mentioned his be'eved adonav, and therefore it's mentioned by the Eved, his Adon, meaning the Eved is obligated in the service of his personal master.
His master. Ki mitzad hayo so adonav, because from the perspective of the obligation of the master.
Right. His obligation to his master.
To his master. Motal alav la'avdo b'chol mini avodos v'lo prat achas mehani. What is motel?
It's incumbent upon him.
Incumbent upon him to serve him with all types of service.
Right.
And not part.
Below prat achas mehena, not with just one specific kind.
Mehena is kind.
Well, actually, mehena means from among them, and not just one detail from among them, from one type among them. I mean, the servant is to his master is obligated in all types of service to his master.
Right. V'amar v'im av ani eyeh kavodi v'im adonim ani kule. And it says, if I am the father, it should be my honor. And if the master, if I am the master, etc. Lomar ki gam shehu av va'adon hu Mevater le'achas mehena.
So this now he's going to the second part of the pasuk. Va'omer, it says in the pasuk, the second part, V'ima'av ani, if I'm the father, kabodi, honor me. V'im adonim ani, if I'm the masters, why is it turning into plural here? V'im adonim ani. I'm not sure why it's plural. V'im adonim. That's strange. Why is that turning into plural? Right.
It doesn't. It's plural, but then it says ani eyeh more e. That's singular, right? To respect him.
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm not sure that. When we looked at that pasuk, I don't think we saw any hesber to that exactly. Um, 1 second. Let's see. That's a pasuk in Malachi. Let's see. I'm not sure if anyone speaks about this point. Adonim. One second. Whoa. Uh, uh, okay. It could be. I'm not sure. But it could be that since this could be an indication of as you just mentioned, the various different types of obligations that the servant has to his master. Meaning, even though he may have one particular master, but he's master over him in many different ways. But I'm not sure about that. I haven't found any portion that correspond with that pshat. But I would say just off the top of my head, maybe we could say pshat. Why is it changing into plural? Imadunim ani. If I am master over you in many different ways, so you should fear me. Okay, so Lamor, what does it mean? What does it mean? Why is it changing from the phraseology by the father to the phraseology of the master? Kigam shu'av va'adon hu mivater la'achas mehena. That also that the father and the master, they are able to mevater, to overlook for one of them. I have to see. He's going to explain this. Let's see how he explains this.
Im mechashivim oso kamo av below kamo adon eye kavodi. if he thinks like the father and not like the master, he should be honored. Klomar, lo dai she nachem michavadim oso hakavod hamotel aleichem. That is to say, it's not sufficient. What is she'ein chem?
Right, that it's that they are it's not koloma lo dai she'ein mechabdin. See, it's not only that you're not respecting me, the kavod hamutal lechem, the honor which the respect which is incumbent upon you to respect me. It's not only that you don't respect me with the sufficient respect that you're supposed to respect me with, Ella.
So you're translating kavod as respect?
Well, actually, better honor. It's more like honor. You're right. Correct. Yeah, corrected. Honor.
Okay, and what's motel?
Which is incumbent upon you. Motel aleichem, which aleichem you, motel incumbent upon you.
Incumbent upon you. Ella gam hakavod ha miyuchad li sheyesh li mivalti shetikavdo osi einena ami. Rather, also, the honor hamiyuchad is special.
Yeah, right. That's right.
The special honor for me that it is for me. Levalti is alone.
Mibalti shekavodo osi. Even without you respecting, even without you honoring me. I mean, there's honor. Meaning, Kadosh Baruch Hu, in reference to Kadosh Baruch Hu, there's an essential honor which a Kadosh Baruch Hu is given even without your respecting him.
And what is Eineni Ami?
Right, right. Gama covered a miyuchidli sheyesh bilti shechavdu osi eineno ami, meaning that even the honor, the special honor which there is to me, irregardless of you honoring me when you're not going to be with me, eineno imi, when you're not with me.
Not with me.
Right. Meaning, just in terms of an analogy, like the king, right? The king has in essence a certain honor which is due to him being the king, whether his servants are around him or not, right?
Right.
So that's the same way. The Kadosh Baruch Hu, there's an innate honor that Kadosh Baruch Hu possesses, irregardless as to whether or not his people, meaning Klal Yisrael, are with him or not.
Ki atem mechalalim osa, because you praise me.
No, mechalim are profane. Here it's mechalimo, so you're profaning it. Meaning, right? Meaning when Klal Yisrael is not going to be with the Kadosh Baruch Hu in the way that He wants us to be connected to Him, right? So that results in a chilul, in a profanation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's honor, because there's an essence, there's an essential honor that Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu has, and when we are not going to do our part to be connected with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the way He wants us to, primarily through Torah and mitzvahs, so that's going to bring forth a chilul, a profanity of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's honor, because that's something which is in essence there. If it's not there, right? If the honor of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not there, so we can't profane it. But if it's there, right, and when we don't do what we're supposed to do through that, we're going to profane the honor which is in essence due to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
V'chein ayeh mor'eh ha-miyuchad li v'sheyesh li b'valti shetir osam mimeni eneni ami. Okay, so and therefore, if my reverence is special for me, and there is for me alone to be revered, that he reveres you from me,
so he brings V'zeh Shoma. He's basing it on the pasuk Atem Kohanim Boizi Shemi. You Kohanim are disgracing Shemi, my name. This is, if you remember, this was the follow of the rest of the pasuk. The pasuk continued on, and the pasuk said, "Atem haKohanim bozu Shemi." You, the Kohanim, are disgracing my name.
I'm lost. What's referring to Atem haKohanim?
This is the pasuk, the beginning of the pasuk that I originally quoted. Ben Yechabid Av, Av Va'eved Adonav, Va'av Ani Im Av Ani Kavodi, Im Adonim Ani Ye Morai. Ve'atem Kohanim, you the Kohanim are disgracing my name.
Right. I remember that now. Yes. Okay, so what's the point here?
Because how is it that that the Kohanim are disgracing Kadosh Baruch Hu's name? Because he's using this as a proof that the honor due to Kadosh Baruch Hu is something there in essence, and never changes and never is lacking. And what we do, however, when we do not honor Kadosh Baruch Hu the proper way, so that's going to bring a disgrace to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, Has v'Sholem, because that honor is inherent to a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I'm not following.
It says in the pasuk, the Kohanim, the priests, which is a reference to Klal Yisrael. You, the priests, Klal Yisrael, disgrace my name. Why is that? What's this? This is a proof that the honor due to Kadosh Baruch Hu is inherent. Because if there's no inherent honor, then there's no disgrace. The only thing if you're not going to honor somebody, right? So okay, so you don't honor him. So that's simply a lack of something. But if you're not positively honoring, in this case, a Kadosh Baruch Hu, so that results in a disgrace. Why should that result in a disgrace? Because that shows that there's an inherent honor due to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. If you're not going to honor Kadosh Baruch Hu, who is inherently fit to receive that honor from you, so by you not doing that, you disgrace the Kadosh Baruch Hu.
And how do we know that? How do we know that you've disgraced him?
Because it says in the pasuk, "Atem Kohanim boz shemi." You, the Kohanim, are disgracing my name.
And therefore, since they're disgracing his name, we derive that we have an obligation to honor his name?
No, it's that exists anyway, right? That exists because he's an Av. An Av, you have to mechabed the Av, right?
Right.
You have to mechabed the Av. And again, remember he said earlier that the father doesn't ask of the son to mechabed him, right? Right? He says here, right, that kia kavod la'av ala ben ena muvakeshes, that the honor of the father from the son is not something which is requested, right? The father doesn't go around requesting that the son honor him. That's ridiculous, right? That itself, if the father has the request of the son to honor him, that itself is a disgrace, right?
Right.
Because why? Because the honor due to the father is something which is inherent, right? And
Right.
so any lack of that inherent honor which is due to the father, and in this case we're referring to a Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? So any lack of that results in an automatic disgrace. That's what he means over here when he says the Kohanim, you Kohanim are disgracing my name. Because simply by not honoring me, you Kohanim disgrace my name. Because just as a father has an inherent honor due to him, because the father is inherently something which the son must honor by means of the fact that the father created him, and part of something to do with creating the son. So Kadosh Baruch Hu even more so.
Okay. I got that. All right. Ki atem mechalalim osa. Because you profane them. V'zehu she'amar sham atem ha-kohanim bivazi shemi. That it says over there, you Kohanim are disgracing my name. Ki ani nikra av va'adon va'atem mivazim sham zeh. Because I am called a father and a master, and you disgrace this.
Shame zeh, this name.
This name. She'ein otam masnigim ami keben uke'eved kamo shehi min ha-roy. That you are not opposing me, my honor and my son and honor like it is from mean haroi, from being appropriate?
Yeah, from what is being appropriate, right? Since ki ani, since I am, right, called father, va'adon, and master, va'atem mevazin shems, and you are disgracing this name, she'ein atem mishanigi mi keben uke'evid, because you are not behaving with me like a son, nor like a servant, kamo haya minaroy, as it should be as it should be appropriately done. So by that lack of Klal Yisrael not behaving towards the Kadosh Baruch Hu like a son to a father and like a servant to his master, that results in an automatic disgrace. Okay, fine. Well, it's gone a bit over time anyway, but we finished. If any questions about this, we can answer tomorrow. And but in the meantime, I'm also going to be hopefully sending out a new document. We'll continue on with Pierke Avos. We're actually approaching the end of Pierke Avos, another several weeks perhaps, depending how deeply we go into things, and then we'll be starting something new. But okay, very good. So unless we have any sections left over from this document, we'll finish this document, and we will continue on to tomorrow with, as I said, Pierke Avos. And meantime, we'll take a little break. We're learning in the Mishnah Berurah Chelik Beis, if you remember, in Tilas Yadayim, and we'll continue with those halachas shortly. Okay, thank you, Roy. You should have a good afternoon.